Now, essentially, there is this habit that all of us have. Today I was talking in the newsroom about it, and everyone was pointing fingers. Hey, we've seen you do this. Hey, we've seen you do this. And then most of the people in office were guilty as charged. But I think it's one of those stories we want to put out to educate the public that as much as you're doing this, it's something which is dangerous and something that it can even be fatal, besides the other consequences that you can talk to us about. We're also going to be talking to someone in the medical field just to give us their own side of the story. But let's begin on the essentials. First of all, Godi, you ready? What happens? How dangerous is phone charging while talking on phone?
Well, in the first place, you have to understand what you are doing when you are charging. When you are using your phone, you only use up the battery, and this is a rechargeable battery which you have to give power again. And recharging means you are aligning the ions in the battery so that when you are using it, you are realigning or you are making them disorganized again and when it gets used up. Now, when you are charging a battery and you always touch like at the back of your phone, it heats up. You feel the heat. So when you talk while charging, it means you are drawing away the little you are putting and you are putting another one from the wall. So you are charging from the wall and then you are talking on the phone, meaning that you are drawing out the little you are putting, you are drawing out. The little you are putting, you are drawing out. Eventually you will be trying to make the battery let's say overwork and then it starts heating up which is exploding. Because all the batteries which are rechargeable, or these ones I'm having, this one is not rechargeable, it's alkaline, but still they tell you that never put it in fire or expose it to extreme heat. So the moment you start overworking it by drawing the little you are putting, because as you are charging, your charging takes longer, but discharging can even take an hour or 30 minutes. But you can charge your whole battery, like for a phone, a Nokia phone, averagely over, let's say, an hour or 1.5 hours. But if you got a call and you have to talk, let's say for this call, it can even take 15 minutes and it's down. Meaning that drawing is much. So you are trying to draw more current from the battery as you are talking, more than what you are drawing from the wall. And then the battery can't sustain that because it is being overworked up, it heats up to extreme temperatures. Because if it can heat up to those temperatures when it is even off and you are charging freely without talking, if you ever put the phone, the bind of the phone on your body to feel it, it heats up. But here you are dropping a few, taking away much. Dropping a few from the wall, taking too much as you are talking. Two, the phone has microwaves. As we are talking, why we are able to get the signal is that electromagnetic waves come, induces a current on the phone, and then we are able to get that electronic signal into the speaker, and then we talk. That's how it works. Even a radio, you get an radio, when you put an radio up, then you get this electromagnetic wave coming, induces a current on the radio, and then the circuit in the radio, if you can go in physics way, it's called a resistor, capacitor, inductor circuit, makes it get the signal, and then if it is a radio, then you get what we call a fundamental frequency, you get the signal and then play the station or whatever. But this is now a phone which uses microwave. And as you are talking, these waves are coming, you are drawing more current from the battery than you are charging. It heats up, and you also hold it in it, you also adding on some warmth. The consequence is that this battery will have to explode. So basically it is put on these batteries, caution, observe polarity, do not incinerate, do not short circuit, because when you short circuit you make the current go through it without being used by any other component, meaning that at the end of the day you are hitting it up and they can explode. They don't tell you to put it in fire and burn it out like they do for syringes or whatever.
Let's just break it down further about. So the explosion. What causes the explosion of the battery?
Because when you look at the composition of the battery, for
Especially
example,
the phone battery.
the phone battery is lithium ion battery, whereby you have the ions in the battery aligned. Let's say when you are charging, you are aligning them. To make it simple, is like when we talk of making a magnet by induction. Get a piece of iron, you start scratching it on, little by little on a piece of magnet, and after a couple of, strokes, you make a magnet. The same applies to the battery of the phone. When you supply a direct current, you start making these ions align themselves, which we call polarization, until when the positives are on one side, on the positive terminal of the battery, and the others are on the negative terminal. They now create that gap in between. So when you connect on them, you get a flow of current. So here you are trying to align these ones, these charges into negatives and positives. At the same time, you are making them give you the current. So you are making the battery work hard. You are drawing, but you are also aligning. Drawing, aligning. So eventually the battery heats up. And when it heats up, it explodes. Everything that if you expose anything to heat, it expands. When it expands, because it is tight up, made tight by the materials around it, it gives way. And these are chemicals in the first place. You can get these ionism chemicals. Like a car battery is a lead acid battery. You have lead and acid in the battery. And the acid it explodes when you expose it.
Once it explodes, does it have any health implications?
The battery, first of all, anything that explodes, if you had it phone in your hand, it will make the other components explode on you. It can burn you. It can a piece of it can hurt you, as in either go inside the ear, or it can block off a little bit of pieces of the ear. The implications depend. Just like a bomb. If a bomb exploded, you can't say it will hit 100 or how many. It depends on who is in the line of the fragments.
What is your advice to them?
My advice to the public is that if you are trying to charge a phone, first of all, you should actually switch it off. Because if you are charging the phone and the phone is on, even if they rang you and you never grabbed it, already it is using part of the electricity for nothing. If it is an iPhone and has a lot of apps, either your WhatsApp is there, your Facebook is on, people's status are coming up, people's messages are coming up, you are using the battery as much as you are charging it. So you're actually wasting the wall electricity. So what you should do is switch off your phone and let the phone charge at its pace. Normally when it is full, it tells you I'm full, then you switch it down. If you want to leave it on, at least disable a couple of apps which keep the phone active. And to reduce the temptation of receiving that important call, please switch it off and let it fast fill. Once it is filled up, then you can do whatever you want.
Anything else you want to tell us?
Like a laptop is automatically made to access electricity once its battery is charged up. For example, when you're using a laptop and it is in the mains, normally when the battery charges and fills up, automatically it switches on. It's like an inverter. When an inverter is charging, if you have an automated inverter, when you are charging the batteries, it draws from the wall and the other one charges the batteries. When the electricity goes, then it starts drawing from the battery. So, but also it is advisable that if you are using a laptop, I know most of the people in the public use laptops, it's advisable for your battery of the laptop to last longer. When it is filled up, when it shows it is 100% now and is on AC, remove the AC plug and let it discharge, because that's what the battery is meant for, to charge and discharge. It's like a boxer going to the gym and then using the power, then goes to it, comes back, uses the power. Otherwise, if you don't use the power, then the charging was useless. So the advice is, now that electricity is becoming a bit tricky with your car and the like, charge up your laptop or your phone when you're not using it. But like a laptop, when you are using it, after you have filled up the battery, use the battery. When it starts, warning you that it's over, charge again. That's the sequence. You keep the battery up to speed.
Okay. Tugende ko mu Uganda kati. Tulabye emirundi mingi twawuliddeko waliwo n'abafa kintu kyokozesa essimu ng'eri mu charging. Kiki ekibaawo kiva ku ki battery zino exploding?
Ekibaawo kiri nti nga katugereze nga ku mupiira, abantu abazanya omupiira osooka kukwata ttiimu emu n'ogiteeka eno n'endala n'ebeera oludda luno n'obagamba bazanye. Bwe bazanya bwe banaawangula buli omu era addayo ewawe. Kati ekibeerawo nti buli lyanda lya simu oba tugeze nga zino battery zibeera mu motoka mulimu kye tuyita ions oba katukiyite mu bwangu nga charge. Kati eno battery okukola obulungi kitegeeza buno obucharge bwa ions obumu akasalaba kalina okubeera obulina akasalaba olina okuba ludda lumu n'obulina ka minus kayite tuti ka minus budda ludda lumu. Kati bw'oba ocharginga oba obwawula nga obwa minus obuteeka eno obwakasalaba obuteeka eno paka wootuukira ekiseera nga bwonna bweyawudde. Kati bw'oteekako essimu oba bw'oba okozesa essimu otandika okubuleka ne butambula nga bwengambye nga ttiimu kati zizanya. Kati bw'oyagala okwogera nga simu yo ate ekyaginga kiba kitegeeza ogezaako obwawula ate ogezaako obugamba bukole butambule wamu bukuwa amasannyalaze agakozesa essimu genaakozesa. Kati mu ngeri eyo ojja kuleetera battery okubeera nga eringa eri obeera nga agitabudde mu lufuutifuuti kankiyita okugiconfuse. Ogigamba buno kambwawule amasannyalaze kuva ku kisenge kye gagamba ng'okyaginga, ate wano gwayogerera ku simu oli mu kugamba nti mutambule mumpa amasannyalaze. Nekituuka ekiseera nga battery netuuka okwenyuwa neyabika. Ate bweyabika kuliko bingi ebibeerako. Eyinza okubeera nga ekokyeza engalo oba obusense buseeko kayinza okukuba ng'okutu nekwonooneka kabe kasinge nekuvaako n'okuvaako ku. So kiba kyetaaga nti bw'oba oyagala kucharginga simu gijjeko, era bwe bagamba gijjeko, leka buno obwawule bwonna bwawuke bubeere side kamu, bumu bubeere side emu obulala bubeere side emu. Bw'omala obwawula bw'ogisaako ng'emaze okujjula kati buleke nabwo butambule bukuwe amasannyalaze g'essimu oyogere by'oyogera paka nga buwedde. Bakozesa buno obukompyuta obutono bwe twakazaako laptop.
Nga tutangira ku laptop olw'okyayogedde ekyo okwewala okubeera okusikibwa kiba beta n'ogijjako okufuna important calls.
Mulimu abo abasikirizibwa nti abadde ku charge n'agaha naye gundi ng'akubye bwenaaba sigikutte ng'anaawulira bubi. Kati okwewala ebizibu ebyo nga essimu yo ebadde ku charger gijjeko, kubanga oli ayinza okuweereza message n'ogamba amukubire obwedda aninze oba n'akukubira n'ogamba eno call kuba yinza okuba mukamawo. Ate bw'ogaana n'ogikwata ate ng'eri ku charge n'akunyiigira. Naye kirungi okunyiigira ate okusinga omugamba nti okutusirina oba eriiso lyavuddemu oba engalo olugalo olumu sikyalina lwatuseeko kulwakubeera nti akantu kankubye oba eyabika. N'essimu yokka okugifiirwa kuba bweyabika eba eyabise naye oba ogifiirirwa. Kati okwewala ebyo ebizibu byonna essimu wandibadde okyandisaanye ogireke ekyaginge bwejjula. Kiringa okunywa mu kikopo. Katugeze singa bagamba nti bakuyinywira ekyayi mu kikopo ate nga bw'onywa oyinza okumanya chai aliwa gw'onywedde pozi eri ng'ayiwamu eweddeko oba naawe ogambye intanenti
ekira kyoyogeddeko nti nga tugireseeko tutondezeko apps ezibira
bw'oba ogireseeko oyinza eddala nyingi ziri automatically bw'ogiteeka ku charge etera okwejjako vibration etabeera ogiteeka ku charge ne vibration nebeera nga tekola nekola just n'olaba nga eyaka ekyo bakikola bukozi oyinza olina woogiwanise ate ne vibrate nga neegwa nekavaamu n'okuvaamu oba nesobola n'okubeera nti eyinza okusika ate nerekeetera obuzibu obulala naye bw'obanga tekyewalika oyinza okugjako application ezimu oba ebikozesebwa ebimu nga na whatsapp enaku zino oba abakozesa facebook oba n'ogiteekawo kye bayita mu flight mode nebeera nga ne bwevuga tekola ki tekozesa amasanyalaze mangi naye okugiteeka mu masanyalaze ate n'ogireka ng'ekola obeera ng'ayonoona amasanyalaze kuba ekiseera jjatwala kiwanvu kiringa okugolola bakugamba bw'oba ogolola lindako nga abasinga tv zivuddeko n'abalala abakozesa amasanyalaze abafumba kati nga mukaaga za kibeeri golola kuba amasanyalaze gajja kuba mangi ng'opaasa okukwata omuliro kitwala budde butono kati awo n'ogolola mangu n'omaliriza oba n'onyika akagoye pasiyo bwe batalina sitiimu okugamba kikwanguyira akantu akeefunyiza kanguwa kagolola n'essimu bwetyo bwe baba bakugamba nti okucharginga essimu kitwala saawa oba emu kitundu ate n'obeera ng'ogitaddeko facebook kweri onaakuweereza ka message n'oli aweereza ka message whatsapp kweri oli aweereza vidiyo oli aweereza kifaananyi kitegeeza ku nkomerero simu kweri ekola charging egezaako okwawula obuntu whatsapp egamba mutambule mumpa amasanyalaze ku nkomerero nga tolina kyokoze ekya laptop oli bw'aba akozesa laptop kirungi nti bw'oba ogicharginze nejjula bw'oba ogikozesa jamu akana akacaginga osooka omalirize gano gootaddeko kuba battery bagikola nti kiringa mmotoka toyinza gamba nti motoka yange ngenda giteeka waka ngikuumira awo teyonooneka baŋambye gundi service nyina okudda mwezi nga guweddeko ngenda gitereka ezeeko ku myezi egiwerako motoka bagikola nga erina okunywa amafuta ekutambuza ne battery ya laptop bweti bagikola nti erina okunywa amasanyalaze obuntu bweyawule obugambe butambule paka we butuuka nga tebukyatambula eddemu ate okoleki ogikyagire ekirina okubeera nti gijjeko ku masanyalaze ogikozese bwekwako ozeemu ejjule bwetu nga bwokekereza ne ku masanyalaze.